In this video, we're going to show you how to build the CL5 sauna from SaunaLife right over here at Cedar Sense headquarters in Waubun, Minnesota. This is a really cool sauna. It's a cube sauna. It has a full glass front, all thermal wood made, and we even did something a little bit special that I don't think you're going to see in very many of these, and we stayed in regulation. We gave it a Hoom Hive Mini 9. And yeah, you're gonna wanna see how we got this together. So enjoy the video. We break this down step by step from the base all the way to the roof of how we got this sauna built. And yeah, you're gonna like it.
You can see by the way I move my feet, I'm just a simple man, no time to speak. Music loud and heart so warm, I've been pushed around since I was born. But it's alright, today you can turn your eyes away. Still we try to understand.
We have our cube sauna here from SaunaLife, and we've got our workers right over here. You're gonna help us build, aren't you?
Yeah.
Not this one, no. What do you think, Paige? Think we can get it? We'll start taking it apart. Huh? You gotta be tough. First layer off, and this is what it looks like when we're all done. Just like that. What's that little stink eye all about? What do you think? Think we can get into her, girls? Why not? This must be the instructions. Yep. There's the instructions. Oh yeah, right. We're not leaving. Still got a little bit more to go, but we're gonna get her done. And this one's coming with a Hive Mini, and that box you see on the top is all the rocks and the controller and the lighting and the bucket and the ladle and everything good. Are you girls ready? Right, so what you can see here is we got all of the crate unloaded with the help of the super tough girls. Took about 15 minutes, keeping everything kind of separated in the same group. The face, the staves, the connectors, the doors in there, you know, benches, the back wall, the backrest, the foot, the steps, heater, walls, all the little stuff here, your connectors and whatnot, your bench railings, all your rocks and accessories, shingles, everything. Just kind of, the best thing I can say is just keep everything separated the best you can. That's the easiest way to find things and get this sucker started. What do you think, Piper? We gonna start working on this thing or what? Yeah, right. You just want to eat your croissant. All right. Well, next we're gonna do is start laying out the floor of this and continue to keep on busting her out. We have a special guest here, Jameson Leduc. He is gonna show us what tools we need. We get a lot of questions all the time about what's it take to build one of these things, and it's probably not what you really think. Go ahead, Jameson.
Yeah, so first tool here, we got a rubber mallet. I always need one of these. We got a regular hammer, a marker's pencil, and a carpenter's knife, and an impact drill. Definitely need one of these. And, we got a tape measure here, a circular saw, and a ratchet strap.
Think that'll do the job?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure, but I bet you we have to pull something out. They always tell you what you need, but you always usually need something more. We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so now that we got everything laid out, and it's pretty cool because the instructions tell you right there what you need. Oh, we are missing a level. We'll grab one of those too. Jameson and I are gonna start building the floor out like you see right here. You ready, buddy boy?
Yeah.
So we did get the base down. It took 8 screws on each side, right, Jameson? One thing about this is, since this is European, these aren't quite, you know, they're actually a little thicker than regular 2x4s. So I think they're 1 7/8. We did lay out either side so you can see where they go, but pretty simple so far for just the base. Nothing too crazy there. Next piece you go on is your centerpiece. It's the only one that has holes in it like that. And that's where these little drains will go in. You see Jameson they even come with little plugs. That's kind of nice. So there is your drain system. One kind of little funky thing to know is they do have a flat head screw. So I guess that's where they're calling for a screwdriver, but we just used a flathead bit on our drill. So we'll keep rocking from here. All right, as you can see, we've got the base down. Biggest thing is you just want to make sure you put on the ends your 2 slots. Huh, Jameson?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to our next step. The glass front, I should say, we don't got the door in, but at least the front put together and braced. They go in by these little L brackets here. You can see in each corner. That's all that's holding it really together right now besides this brace. Biggest thing with these braces is you want to make sure you're more than 3/4 of an inch over. I even angled the screw in a little bit that way, just so you're not hitting that glass. That's a big no-no. You do not want to hit that glass. So we have this together. She's a little dusty, but we'll clean it off. And now we're gonna go put together the back wall. All right, so it does tell you only need 2 people, but we actually brought in some reinforcements. Jameson, he's been in the weight room, but still needs a little more.
Dude, you got a car over there, not me, it's not.
All right.
Wobble.
So this piece with the glass is pretty dang heavy, and like I said, we just brought in an extra person because we did not want to drop that. And all you do is you pop a few screws in the bottom on each side. There is center marks where you line them up with the center here. You can see right there, center mark, and there's a center mark over there too. So you line up your center marks. The back is actually a lot lighter. Just want to make sure there is a top and a bottom to the back. Make sure that you're not doing it the wrong way there. And you just use a couple bracing here. Them are just temporary. You'll come back and take them off once you get it built up a little bit more. But there you go. Now all we're gonna do, next step, is to start wrapping these with the staves all the way up to the top. Before we do anything else, and then she should be pretty solid by then. All right, as you can see, as we have all the staves in place, it took about 43 minutes altogether between Jameson and I. And Nina even helped us out a little bit. But what we do now is we gotta get this piece in right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna unscrew this one, lift it up a little bit, wedge it down, and then beat it with our rubber mallets. But what we had to do is we had to measure that gap, and we had to take 2 pieces and screw them together to get the desired length, which is kind of nice, is they give you a little bit extra, you know, and they walk you through pretty easily how to do it. But we'll see if we can get her on the first one. If it doesn't work, we might have to shave a little bit down, but we're hoping we're not gonna have to do that. And another cool thing is they gave us 2 extra staves, as you can see over there. So even if you do make a little mistake, you got some extras. You ready? All right, now we're gonna tighten this bad boy down. We got a ratchet strap here. We've get it right around the edge. We're gonna have to pull all these screws that we put in, and then the band's gonna go over the screws. So make sure you do have a ratchet strap that's, you know, big enough to go all the way around. What we figured worked best is just hold the bottom with a crescent wrench and then tighten the top, and she will come to a pinch. As you see here, it'll look like it's not going to be enough, but once you got them clamped like this, she is super tight. So you can we remove the strap. Once we got it tight here, then we'll remove that strap. And then all the walls should be done. We'll start working the interior. Same exact thing. So now we work on to we've got all of the bands on, everything's pretty tight. We keep the junction pieces together nice and low, and we're going on to our vents now. So the only difference is you got a top and bottom vent, like you see up here. There's your top and there's your bottom. Your bottom vents will both be nice screened vents, so you gotta like the screen vents, so no bugs get in. But the top on the interior will be this one right here, and that's adjustable, so you'll have a gap there between the wall. Super easy to do. We'll get those plugged in now, and then we'll start working our benches. Now that we have everything in, the bottom vent is in, we're gonna come back and get that top vent a little bit later. We added our bracing. Our bracing is in. The bottom one goes 11 and I believe 3/8 up, and the top one goes 25 and 5/8 up. Now, Butch is over there working on the benches, and we're gonna get these dang benches in here. All right, benches are in. A little bit of trial and error, but Butch was a gangster getting them. You put 3 screws into the wall and the back. You do one into the side, one into the side. You got to toe in your bracing there. Same thing up top. 3 screws into the staves in the back, or the wall in the back. One into the side, one on the side. And then the easiest part was the backrest, huh, Butch?
Yeah, that was easier than all of them. Got to climb underneath nothing.
Yeah, right up top. Pre-drill everything, get your screws in, and there is your bench system. Heater's gonna sit right there, but we're gonna work on the door next. So this door is a little tricky, but not too. It took Butch and I a little bit of congregating to figure out.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of walk you through it. We didn't really show the video of us hanging it, but here's how she works. Is you want to put your jams on first, basically, if you can see it. Then you're gonna hang this thing from the inside. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll do it with point with my fingers. This part of the door here, let's see here. This part of the door here is not connected to your jams. So what you want to do is, we laid it out on that table right there, and we put our jams on first, and then we set this from the inside. And once it's set from the inside, then you pre-drill it back into your jams. We did make sure we got a couple screws in there, little temporary bad boys, to make sure we had everything leveled out from the bottom up. And then now what you do is you cover this in your gap with some black trim that they give you, that's sitting right there. So, all right, well, here's what we got done. Here is the door handle on there. It's a wooden door handle with a magnet that you can see, so she stays tight, which is kind of nice. And with the benches, we did have to make a little bit of a modification. This particular client wanted the hoom, and the hoom is a little bigger than most of them, huh, Max? No, you don't. So, with the needing to have 3.5-inch clearance, we had to recess the bench back just a little bit, as you can see there. Now we have our 3.5-inch clearance on either side and all the way around it and the back. So this monster hoom should be just fine in there. It's kind of cool. I don't know if there's too many of these that have a hoom hive mini in it. So this will be pretty awesome when she's all said and done. And now we're off to the roof, huh, Butch?
Yep.
Yeah, Butch knocked it.
Squared up.
Knocked her out. We added a few more legs down there for bracing. But yeah, this should be plenty of good for what it calls for. We forgot to set up the video for the roof. But if you've ever done a roof, it's actually super easy. Biggest thing is you do run some felt, 2 rows of felt. You run the felt on this side, run the felt on that side behind it. Then there is starter strip here, which you lay out, and then you just start running your shingles over the top. We did nail down our starter strip, and there is a winged flange right here that you run at, I think it was 45 inches from the ground up. So yeah, there it is. That is the roof, super easy. We will show you the trim, which is a little bit tricky, but we got it. And once the trim's done, this thing is rocking and rolling. But yeah, roof ain't hard. And then you put some end cap up on the top, which it's hard to see, but yeah, super easy roof. And there it is, guys. You have the Cube Sauna from SaunaLife built right here. There's a couple models that are smaller. There's a model or 2 that are bigger. They're all on our website. Overall, I think it took around, I would say roughly that 9-hour mark to get done. Of course, I had my 14-year-old son help me. I had Butch helping me. I even had the most beautiful woman in the world helping us for a little bit. I think if you have a full-grown adult with you, it's only gonna be 2 of you you'll need. As far as experience level goes with these things, you gotta have a little bit of carpentry background to know this. You gotta have some tools like we showed in the beginning of the video to do it. If you're gonna do any kind of customization like we did, I really strongly encourage you to read through the owner's manual of your heaters. Make sure you have the barriers or that you need, the buffer zones, I guess would be the best way to call it. So even though this heater that you see in here is the Hoom Hive Mini 9. We have to make those modifications on something like this because it is asking for 3.5-inch buffer zone before it touches wood. So if you're doing anything like that, make sure you're reading your instructions, you're making this 100% safe. We actually gave a little bit more, so there's actually over 4 inches. If that's something that you don't want to do, we can do it yourself or hire a local contractor. We can bring these right out to your yard. You can see it on our website. You can find these on our website. And one last thing I'd like to end with is you did see my kids, my daughter in the beginning, my son in here helping. We are a family-owned business over here at Cedar Sense. We encourage the youth to get their hands dirty and know some trades. So that's just another thing that you're supporting, with us too. Is we try to get the kids involved as much as possible. We want them to learn about the qualities of small business. We want them to be rock stars in the future and not be completely dependent on everybody else in order to survive. So that's kind of what we're all about, and that's a huge thing with us over at Cedar Sense that we want you to know too. So if you're looking to get one of these, you can find them on our website. Super easy. You have any questions, call this number right here. That number could change. It's always updated on our website. But Cedar Sense, cedar-sense.com is our website. You can see them on there. You can learn all about them. There's all sorts of different heater options. With these cube saunas in particular, I would probably stay away from wood. I would only go electric with these. Propane furnaces, maybe a little bit too big for these two. But yeah, if you have any questions about these things, let me know. My name is Michael Vail. I'm the owner of Cedar Sense. I'm glad to bring this video out to you. And if you got one of these, hopefully we helped you out a little bit so you can construct your own. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.